Hello everyone, I hope you're well. My name is Tim Sheehan, editor of the Brewers Journal, and we are here today in Liverpool, home of Neptune Brewery, and I'm delighted to be joined by Les O'Grady, co-founder of Neptune.
Hello.
How are you, Les?
Good, thanks. You?
Excellent. Never better, never better. So we are here with Les, but just off camera for the time being. We have Julie O'Grady, the co-founder of Neptune as well, and I think boss, according to Les.
Absolutely.
So, well, you know, it's a team effort from what I gather. So, Les, thank you for having us, and let's get the elephant in the room out of the way straight away.
Yep.
Tough time for brewing.
Absolutely.
Tough time for the hospitality sector, but great to see a brewery like Neptune, really community focused, going on a journey like a lot of the great breweries do, where every year there's a transition, evolution.
Yep.
And obviously last year was one such year of that.
Absolutely was, yeah.
So can you tell us a bit more, how did 2023, should I say, pan out for you? Because it's a busy one.
Yeah, it was. The old site we were in, we outgrew, and we needed to move the brewery. So it took us a while to find the site, which we did, and we moved brewery in a year ago, pretty much, January 23. At the same time, we had found where we are now, the beerhouse, and it was quite an interesting start to the year, shall we say.
Yep.
Moving brewery, trying to establish, well, obviously get this place kitted out and get this open as well. So it was quite a hectic start to the year.
So this, as I said, it feels like a real community asset already, into its young life.
Yeah.
Really warm, hospitable, bar pub hybrid. I feel, but obviously a showcase for great beer.
Yeah.
Namely your beers. Tell us how you stumbled across it, because I can see the shop that ties into that story across the road.
Yeah, there's a Home Bargains opposite. Me and Julie were coming out of there after buying cat food or something like that, I think. And we just sort of were parked, waiting to come out, looked across the road, was like, that might make a good bar. Double fronted building, nice space, good light. And we sort of inquired, and then it took, it was a good find.
Because obviously the tap room was a real integral part of the Neptune proposition in your old site. Obviously you've got the new one now, which, as we've seen earlier, has got great space to grow into. Obviously a tap room was always going to be part of that. So I imagine it was a bit of a phrase that I think a lot of us used during COVID, a bit of a time to pivot with your idea of, okay, we're doing this tap room, but we're going to do it in a slightly different manner.
Yeah, the old brewery had a tap room attached, which was your quintessential move everything out for the weekend, put everything back in, that was in the way of brewing. So when we moved site, we've moved to a more, shall we say, industrial area. So there's less housing around. So finding somewhere where we could open more often, attract more people, and it doesn't interrupt with our brewing as well. So if we want to, we can be in there at the weekend doing, stuff in the brewery as well. And then we can focus on showcasing our beers here. Yeah. We have 12 lines of our own beer, unless we've done a collab with somebody. So it's pretty much always our beer on. And we've got our existing or our previous regulars who followed us here from the old site. Most of them live locally, but then we've found, because we're on the high street now, we've got a lot more footfall, and people are discovering us each and every week and finding out, hopefully, what great beer we do.
And you're taking them on that journey.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because I think your beers, as I've said before, I feel like they're kind of modern expressions of mainly traditional styles, but you've got, you're not afraid to do what you want at the same time. You've got great pale ales, great lagers, ESBs, but then, as we see here, fantastic new coffee collaboration too.
Yeah. We've found, obviously, as most breweries do, I think it's important to have a core range, which people know, love, go back to all the time. Zillies are permanent cask beer in here, and people actually complain if they don't see it. They're like, where is it? Okay, so that's on constantly. So we've found, especially since we've moved here, we've got people who like what they like, and that's it. But as a brewery, as brewers, you always want to sort of experiment, to try something a little bit different. So this is our latest project, which is the coffee beers. We've done 3. We work with the local roastery, Crosby Coffee. So we work with them to find the best beans to match with the 3 beers we've done. Release them as a trilogy. So, you can try 1 or all 3, in one go if you like. And yeah, they've gone down really well, but it keeps the brewing team interested as well as the drinker. So you're not like churning out the same beer, each and every week. So you've got something new to get your teeth into.
But these are different expressions of coffee and beer, I understand as well. And you were saying earlier that it was interesting to you that no single beer jumped out when you had a sort of launch here. Different people vibed off.
Yeah, so we did a launch a couple of weeks ago, and Julie paired the beers with cake, which was really good. And we had the guys from Crosby Coffee come over, so explained about which coffees they used, where they came, so they had the origins of the coffee. And then, at the end of the night, we did a show of hands. And so there's a coffee cream ale, a coffee IPA, and a coffee stout.
Yep.
And it was pretty much a split even which one people preferred, which was interesting.
Yeah. And so these beers are, well, as part of the move, you were looking, I understand, previously to buy a new brew house.
Yeah.
Obviously you've got a nice new, cask washer, you've got canning in-house.
Yep.
But you're still brewing these beers on the initial kit with this focus now on the on-trade, I suppose.
Yeah. I think it would have been a little bit too much of a risk, if you like, to invest a lot of money in a new kit. So we've invested it in this, basically. So the beer house we've made it somewhere we want to drink. It's where we would come and enjoy, which we do. And it's a good outlet, and it's a good testing ground as well for new beers as well. So you can put them on. We have a little pilot project going as well. So it's good from that point of view. And I think the way hospitality is at the moment, and you've not always got the certainty of trade sales, it's good to have something, it's going to be pretty constant, if you like, each week.
And how much of your beer brewed by Neptune Brewery goes through the beer house?
We probably do the equivalent of maybe 1 brew a week will come through here. Okay. So one guy, the equivalent, obviously, different beers, but it's probably about 1 a week would come through here.
And I understand, obviously, you and Julie still, you will do shifts here.
Yeah. Like
this coming weekend. But what does if there is such a thing, what's a normal day for you now, in your role?
Oof. This, actually, we took on Alice, a new brewer, this year. And so I've taken more of a back seat in the actual physical brewing. Still get me hands dirty, wet, whichever way you want to, every now and again. But my actual brewing is less than it was, which has given me more time to focus on actually running the business, if you like. So, it's easier now to plan ahead, plan beers like the coffee, the coffee project. We can put a little bit more effort into doing that. And then the way it's going this year, obviously events and stuff would be a bit more, less tiring, should we say, doing outside events, because it's not as full on, in the day-to-day, week-to-week. So we'll be able to focus a little bit more on, doing events as well.
So you obviously do the sort of limited releases, the seasonals, the projects as well. But do you still enjoy the sort of the satisfaction of dialing in beers that people love and maybe making improvements that they might not even know are happening?
Yeah.
But really kind of dialing in those recipes to get them to where you want them.
Absolutely. To be. As I said before, we have our core range, and the last within the last 6 months, 2 of them have got the regional camera champion beer of Britain. 1 got a gold, 1 got a bronze, and it's good that we're making a beer that's that, so you say, constant, that it's good enough to win awards. At the same time, people are coming here, see it on the bar, and just go, right, that's what I want. Yep. And it's satisfying, and people will go, oh, I really like that beer, and I've seen it, I'll buy it wherever it is. At the same time, it's exciting to see someone's face when they try a coffee beer for the first time and go, oh, wow, I didn't expect that. That's really good. Not everyone likes everything you do. We get that. And some people go, it's not for me. But, there's always, we've got 12 beers here, so there must be something someone will like,
But there's that thrill of that, the consumer review almost of the beers you make, knowing that, hey, that's the recipe that you've developed over the years. Now you've got the great team back at the brewery making a product that people enjoy and appreciate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great stuff.
It's also good we see, we've got a few more permanent lines now locally, Mosaic, one of them, which we've got there. We've got that on tap in quite a few places in the city centre now, which is on a permanent basis as well. So again, it sort of justifies the quality control, if you like, that goes into making that beer the same every time we do it. We can people have got confidence in selling it, week in, week out.
Yeah, and obviously it's not just you and Julie. I think you've been very keen in the past, which I think is the right thing to do. To make it clear, it's a team effort.
Absolutely,
it's not it's not just you. You're backed by a great team. Can you tell us a little bit more about Team Neptune?
Yeah, so we've got Gavin, who's been with us for 8 years now. So Gavin was employee number 1, if you like, which is on his payslip. Gav's been with us for 8 years. Initially he came in just as a delivery driver and just to help around the brewery. He's now, he brews, we'll either brew or package every day. So we've took on Alice this year. So Alice has come in. She's a Heriot Watt graduate, so she's bringing a little more, shall we say, expertise in that side, because I'm pretty much self-taught. I don't have any brewing qualifications. I've learnt along the job. So, so she's bringing in a little bit of expertise, and the fact she's half my age as well, a little bit of youth, shall we say, into the brew team. And then we're backed up by JP, who's started off as the designer. He pretty much does. He looks after all the software and the brewing software and the sales and stuff like that. And then we got Andy, who's our delivery driver.
Great. So it must be rewarding to be able to be an employer.
Yeah.
A local employer and also bring people through.
Yeah. And again, we've also got a team of 5 now in the beerhouse, 2 full-time and 3 part-time in the beerhouse.
Great stuff. And again, it shows that evolution, from a brewery that started in 2015 to one that's employing, 10 or so people now.
Yeah.
Great.
It does have its responsibilities.
Of course. But it's great to see breweries, in an age where we're seeing, closures and contractions, see one that's growing on virtue of a quality liquid and quality products and the people behind it.
Yeah.
Everyone, and welcome back. It's a pleasure now to be joined by Julie Grady, the co-founder of Neptune Brewery. How are you, Julie?
I'm okay, thank you. Thanks for asking.
Well, great stuff. And we are enjoying Sunken City, which is, we're just discussing. I mean, I think if you look at a dictionary definition of sessionable beer, this is probably it.
Yeah. It's very refreshing, very light, citrus notes, 4%. Yeah, but you can have more than 1 or 2 pints. Very drinkable.
And I think, it's great that, we're living in a world of beer where there's something for everyone. Yeah. From the incredible constant rise of no and low to, the beers that I have far too many of, the sort of bourbon barrel aged imperial stouts, the ones you share with your friends.
With that.
No, exactly. And, sharing with your friends and just great. And, every beer has its own identity and offers up something different. But I do feel like Neptune has always had its name associated with just great session strength beers. You do a lot, but this is a really kind of almost like a classic Neptune beer.
Yeah, ever since we started, it was our goal to brew very drinkable beers. And look at some traditional styles of beers and modernise them slightly in altering the ingredients and obviously the new different hops that you can get now. But yeah, we never set out to brew massive big beers, and we originally started on cask. That was for the first 8 months of when we began. It was just purely cask beers, and then we went to bottles and keg. And then obviously when cans became more popular in 2017, we actually went on to canning. But yeah, I say for us, it's it's important that we have beers that are very drinkable for people, because things certainly last year and this year are changing what people do want to drink. It's the tide has turned, I think, whereas a lot of people originally will look after something big and bold, and yet there's still those drinks available, and so there should be. You know, we do ourselves brew some higher ABV beers, but not very often.
No.
And we tend to do that towards the latter part of the year, like Christmas, because, you know, people are after something a bit different. So yeah, for us, keeping it drinkable, sessionable, I don't know, safe, some people may say, but yeah, we're more than happy to do that.
And it's great you offer the split of formats. But I think, as you previously said, you know, Liverpool still really a cask city. I mean, how does that affect your sales? Are you still mainly cask led on the sales side?
I say most people know us for cask first and foremost, and we brew great cask beer. But what people tend to forget is that the beer that's in the cask is the same beer that's in the keg and the can, and it's just as good. It's just in a different dispense. And sometimes I get a little bit trying to get that through to people to say, yeah, we do, and they go, you brew brilliant cask. Well, yeah, we do in keg as well, because it's the same beer. But yeah, we are known, and we take good care of the beer that we brew, and obviously every brewery should. And I think the way we brew as well, because all our beers unfined. So, and we've never done a beer that has been fined. So that's not suitable for vegans, and we never will do. That's how we set our stall out many moons ago. And it's, you know, for us as well, we don't force carbonate. So it goes into secondary fermentation, which is unique in a lot of breweries. I know there are some that are doing it more now than what there was when we first started. But yeah, you know, we don't force carbonate, so it's unfiltered, unpasteurized, and, you know, and unfined.
And how do you educate people then? I don't mean that in a patronizing way, but, you know, when it comes to, you know, informing people that might not know otherwise, you know, it's like, oh, I only like cask, or I only like keg, maybe, you know, it can be a frustrating position to end up in.
You know, it depends. Every customer is different. Every trade customer, it depends on what they want. There's some breweries out there doing amazing beers that are more suited to keg. And that's what their customers want, maybe a little bit more high ABV, more of a, as I call them, juice bombs. They want something that's really, you know, juicy and more on the tropical, on a fruit side, than more on a if you like, beer side to a degree. But yeah, you know, we just explain to them what our beer is and what's different about it. And, you know, have a try the cask, because obviously it's a completely different dispense. You know, it's not as cold. Obviously the carbonation is a lot lower. And then, you know, try the keg beer or the can, and you'll see, because sometimes that can change ever so slightly the flavour. It can bring out more things. We do our Abyss, which is one of our core beers. Our triple oated stout is amazing, and it's actually my favourite beer that we do. And on cask, that is absolutely fantastic, absolutely creamy, lovely chocolate notes, all the dark roastiness coming through, little hints of coffee. On keg, it's great. But because obviously the coldness, it can numb that little bit of flavour. So, you know, it does lend itself, I think, as do certain beers, in better. But we just try to say to people, you know, this is what we do in keg, and people will make their own minds up. Everybody's palate is different, isn't it? Whether it's a trade customer or somebody who may be here in the beer house and they're drinking, you know, the beer. So,
and I said in my introduction a moment ago that for me, it feels like Neptune are very much a brewery that feels part of the community, but also part of the industry. You know, you do a lot of great releases, participate in beer festivals, and a lot of great collabs as well. Obviously, you did is it Razom a few years ago? Yeah. But there's also a lot of things you kind of participate. You're not like a passive element of this brewery. You're kind of playing a part and trying to
it's great to be able to do collaborations, and you know, as I've always said, and you know, people may know, we do collaborations because we want to, and the people that we like. We don't do for collaborations' sake. We don't do one every month or whatever. You know, we've actually reduced, because we're obviously we're busy in the brewery doing other things and events, and even though there may be more of us, it's still hard to try to get the time to fit everything in. But we do have people that we love to collaborate with, and we've done a couple of times, which, you know, one was like Marble. We've done a couple of collaborations with them, and new people, Amity last year, you know, Les went to brew with them. So, you know, this year we've got a couple of collabs that are in the pipeline as well, which is quite nice, but we're not going to be doing them every month or it's that's not our thing. We like to do it, and it's nice to be asked, and we ask people, and if they say that's great. But
so obviously Marble being in Manchester, Amity and Leeds, you know, Liverpool is known for great hospitality, great pubs. I feel like there's so many great breweries here. I feel like we've discussed in the past that despite that, though, sometimes, you know, might not be a bit of a, you know, an exaggeration, but it gets left behind a bit compared to the Bristols, the Manchester, the Leeds, and so on. You know?
And I've said this before, that we're not far down the road. We're half an hour, 40 minutes from Manchester, and we absolutely love Manchester. A lot of friends in Manchester, amazing breweries and bars and everything. But we can sometimes be left in the shadow for Manchester people, and people miss out on the great pubs and bars and the breweries that we've got that are coming out of Merseyside as well. Yes, we are predominantly more a city that's still cask orientated, and I certainly don't see that changing anytime soon. But it is gradually, there's more pubs that are opening up, or bars, and yet they're still doing cask because that is what people want to drink. But they are also doing keg beer as well, and they're introducing more like craft beer into their bars and things. So obviously younger generation who want beer then have got the, you know, the crafty side of things, and then those who don't necessarily want to have that on keg, they go more towards, you know, a cask beer. But yeah, you know, it is annoying because Liverpool is a great city. And we've got a lot to offer, fantastic buildings, pubs, bars, people as well. We're passionate people, and it's just a nice place to visit. And sometimes, I do feel that we get bypassed because Manchester's more known and it's a bigger city than what we are.
But you mentioned obviously predominantly cask, but I feel like breweries like Neptune are the future of cask, because you go into and show people, hey, we do these great keg beers, we also do cask. And obviously there's so much to be said about, you know, the looking after the beer, the education, the training of the staff, and knowing how to keep it in great condition, and to almost, we've got to manifest and create this demand to assume that there is this demand for these great beers, because we all know, you know, the life that they have. But I feel like to ensure that cask, you know, conversation's been going on for ages now, but doesn't just survive, but it can thrive again. I feel like we need more breweries like yours that really are passionate about it and make a great product.
Thank you. As I say, we're proud of the beer we do and the cask, and I think that's the thing, that some people say cask is in decline and other people say, oh no, it's not. But it's interesting how things now are turning around in the past year or so, that other different breweries are now having to diversify. So those that maybe said previously, no, we won't do cask, then all of a sudden they're doing cask. I think it's a case of never say never as such. And the way the economic climate has gone, or is going, that you need to keep your options open as well. But if you are going to do a cask beer, then it's understanding about cask beer as well, you know, how it's brewed, how to look after it and everything, you know, that goes with it. And that's not just from a brewery side, that's important from those who actually serve it on the opposite side of the bar as well, to make sure the customer is getting, you know, a really good pint of cask, that it's served, it's been, you know, left to settle for a couple of days, it's, you know, and it's at the right temperature, not too cold. It's, I say, well, the debate on sparkle or not sparkle, we're sparkle, got to have a sparkle, you know, but some people, for various reasons, they'll go on about, you know, no, it takes this out, takes that out, and I'm not even going to go into that.
We could do a whole video on that, I think, and then some. So, so for people that want to come and enjoy a fantastic pint of sparkled cask, what are the timings that you open here at the beerhouse?
The beer house, we are open Thursday to Sunday. And on a Thursday and Friday, we are open from 2 p.m. till 10 p.m.
Okay.
And Fridays and Saturdays, we are open 12 till 10 p.m.
Excellent.
Yeah, so our last orders is 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And then, everyone's usually gone by 10:30, 11:15, which suits us fine. It's part of the license conditions because of where we are near to, obviously,
Yes.
a couple of houses and such things as well. But, and yeah, I say, as Les has already alluded to, we have an amazing customer base as well. We have a lot of regulars that followed us from our old tap, which we only opened on a Saturday, which is 10 minutes down the road from here. And then we've got a new lot of customers as well. And we never, the same as our trade sales in the brew, we never take anything for granted. We're grateful for everybody who comes in here, whether they're a regular or they have 1 pint every week or every other month they visit us. So, but we're glad that we've brought something to our hometown Maghull, something that's different to what other pubs are around as well. A choice, 12 beers. There's got to be something there that you're going to like.
Yeah, you said fantastic customer base, but I'd equally say they're lucky to have you.
Thank you.
So finally, I've got to ask: New Everton ground being built, fantastic new stadium, but title race.
Asking the wrong person. I'm the rest.
I was going to say title race. You said it's only half an hour or so down the road. Liverpool and Man City. Where's it going to go?
Do you know what? The two great teams. I think they are, aren't they? They are. It's going to be very tight, isn't it? Of course, as the red part of Neptune, I'm gonna say for us, but let's wait and see. Ask me that at the end of May.
I mean, yeah. Just anyone but Man City, in my opinion.
Right. Okay.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you, and thank you to Les. So thanks everyone for joining us today. As I said, my name's Tim, editor of the Brewers Journal. We've been joined by Les O'Grady and Julia Grady, co-founders of Neptune Brewery. And you know when to come and visit, so come and visit the Neptune Beerhouse. Thanks very much.
Cheers.